Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and today we're talking about a knife that really brings me back. This is a knife that when we first started the channel, this was like, I don't know, like 6 years ago or so, we did a video in Colorado, and it was one of our first ever edited videos, like where we put music and just really edited. It came out really good. All right, Neeves Knives.
For a second, and I'm going to thinly slice this thing.
Cucumber. There you go.
Thin
Awesome.
cucumbers, anybody?
And it did well on the channel, and it was on this knife. You know, that was years ago, and it wound up getting discontinued, but now this knife is back. So let's take a close look at the Buck Marksman. I got tons of videos on this. This knife goes back very far for me and Kara. We have a lot of memories with the Buck Marksman. This one is the new version, and I'm happy that they did bring it out of being discontinued. But I do have some nitpicks that I want to bring up, considering they brought it back. But this is in S35VN, obviously a collaboration between G&G, Hawk, one of my favorite companies, and Buck Knives. Now, this is using the G&G Hawk SLS, strong locking system, and that is this strap here. Now, in the box, it does come with a tool. So basically, you can adjust this, and that means you can adjust it to the point to where you can't even undo this, and it's basically like a fixed blade. Now, you can also increase like the detent strength and things like that, how strong the lockup is, so on and so on. So if it does ever wear or, you know, get maybe a little softer than you like, you can always tune it up, which is really cool. I do appreciate that. It does have a hollow ground drop point blade, like I said, in S35VN. And then now we have this green shred fat carbon fiber, which I do like the look of, and it makes this extremely lightweight. The original one was in aluminum. I think they did do some titanium ones, but I'm not 100% about that. But either way, the original one was in aluminum. We have the same deep carry clip. Basically, everything is the exact same, except for a couple little details that we're going to go over, like the fat carbon fiber, the S35VN. They did have some in some better steels than the original, which was 154 cm. And I will say this, that 154 cm at the time was done very, very well. The clip is on top of these little cutouts right here, which I'm not a fan of. We'll talk more about that here in a second. Let's go into some of the things that I really love about this. One, it has such a cool sound. The acoustics are amazing. Let me turn this to like that. This was one in our knife collection. You could always tell what it was because it has this unique sound, and you can hear like the double click from when it breaks the detent and then when it hits and locks up. That's just very unique. So the way it works is this is acting as the detent right there. You can see this little bar right there. How that would be normally like the lock face is hitting this, and still is the lock face, I guess. So that acts as the detent. Like I said, you can increase that. It has a really good flipper, and then you just want to make sure when you do flip it, you go all the way through. You don't want to half-ass it, and I'll show you why here in a second. But snap it all the way through, and it will lock up very solid. Then you also have the reverse flick. And again, same thing. You just want to make sure you follow through and you don't be scared. But we'll talk about a safety that you can use in a second. Then, after you've opened it to disengage, you take your finger basically, and you take your thumb and you push against this side while you pull back with this finger. You just pull back. That's one way to do it. Another way is you can pinch it and push on the blade, and that will slide it down because you're holding the lock in place while you push the blade forward, allowing it to disengage. That's a very easy way to do it. Again, you can use your pointer finger or your actual thumb. The thumb can be a little bit trickier, but you can do it. Now, my favorite way is the two ways I just showed you, where I do it like that, or I just push it like that. And it does work well. Very fidget friendly. Once you get used to this thing, it is super fidget friendly. The strap does take some getting used to. It is a little thin. It's got the sharp jimping, so you do feel that, and it will give you a little bit of fatigue, you know, practicing it if you've never done it before. I will say, me picking this one up, it was, I still have the muscle memory. So like for me using this, it was nothing for me to pick it up. It's just like I've had it this whole time. Now, the strap. So here is a little bit of a safety thing that you should know about. If you half-ass a flip, it will pop back. So you can see it doesn't take much. So as long as you just flip it, it'll flip reliably all the way. But just in case, when you flip it, you don't want to flip and then automatically put your fingers in the way. Allow it to lock up. Same thing with the reverse flick. When I reverse flick, I go like this, fingers out, and I let it lock up. When I know it's locked up, then I put my fingers around it, because you don't want to half-ass it. If you do half-ass it, if you have a weak reverse flick, then you might want to make sure your fingers are completely out of the way. Either way you want to do that. Same thing with the thumb flick. But again, it doesn't take very much strength. 90% of people are just going to open it right up, and it's not going to do that at all. They're just going to pop it right open. So just know that that is something that can happen, because this is, you know, the spot where when it comes around, it has to break past that. So it has to kind of push it back a little bit and snap it in. Like, once you get used to it, man, it takes 2 minutes. You're going to get used to it. The thing is the fatigue you're going to get from the jimping might, you know, you might have to, it might take you a couple days to kind of get used to that as far as grabbing it and doing this, because it does take a little bit of like control. If you've ever disengaged the scorpion lock, it's similar to that, where you just kind of got to get used to it. But once you do, it's awesome. And you know, knife guys like that type of stuff. They like having stuff that not everybody can do or not everybody's used to. Let me go through some nitpicks really quick, because there's so many things I love about it, but I can't help but want to complain about them doing a version 2, a second version, and not fixing the nitpicks that everybody had from the get-go. When this originally came out, there was, you know, just a few little things that people were like, man, I wish they would have done this differently. Man, I wish they would have done this better. If they would have done this and this would be so awesome. It's already awesome, but I mean, like, it would be even better. And people were hoping that they would just like evolve the design. Now they technically have, but they left the same things that every single reviewer said to not do or to fix. One being this plunge grind. Holy cow, already from the factory. Now this is exactly how the original was. If you look at my sharpening videos on the original one, this gets worse when you sharpen it. This I wish was cut out and it was a good plunge grind, kind of like here. One of my designs, kind of like this, where the plunge grind is way back here. So now I can sharpen all of this. I can sharpen there, all the way to there without ever hitting the plunge grind. That is really awesome as far as sharpening goes, and it being a great, you know, user for the intended user. Now this one, there's no reason why they didn't, because you have all the room in the world. In fact, it might even make it more safer, because that would be, you know, less out of the way, the edge right there. Not that that'll ever hit you or anything, but just saying, just literally cut the half a circle out and start the edge right here, right? Do like a half a moon right there. Start the edge there and separate it from the end of the plunge grind. Start a plunge grind, end a plunge grind. This one goes way past the edge bevel, which is why you're seeing that smile. And after I sharpen it, it's going to be much worse. So that's one negative. The next thing is this bar. I am not saying that, you know, I could be 100% right here. There might be a reason why this bar has to be exactly the way it is, but the way I can see it, and I personally can't see an issue with why didn't they make the strap just the way it is and then just make a little bit of a thicker portion right here, from here to here, from here to here, something that has like an edge on it where when you grab it, you're not gripping a thin bar. Like if you look, a thin bar like that? Why not make it like it's just a little bit more comfortable? You know, they could have maybe put like a little stud there or something. I've seen people do weird things to these. I've seen some people, they grind off the jimping so that it's just a flat surface, but they could have just made it a little bit thicker in just a little 1-inch section or a 1/2-inch section that is chamfered or something or angled or has texturing going this way, kind of like that, right? But going up and down rather than these types of jimps. Or if you're gonna do jimps, do like, here we go, something like this. I don't know, just where it's closer together, where, you know, it's grippy. It still has a grip it and rip it area. So when you do disengage, it's still gonna grip you back, but a little bit thicker with a little bit finer, closer jimping instead of it being so spread apart. The next thing, which I didn't realize, I don't even remember this being an issue. So I think this is only specifically for this fat carbon fiber. These have sharp edges. You're not probably gonna be able to tell, but right there. So the clip lands on that. So when you go to put it in and out of the pocket, it's got to get over that sharp edge. Ooh, I wish they would have just take that out. Just take these squares out. You could have left these. If you're gonna do these, maybe go this direction so it doesn't hurt the clip or something. Something where it's not directly under the clip, because these, or just chamfer these edges. I don't know, round it more, because look at this. Like, it's a sharp edge. Like, that's one thing. And you know, I did notice when I go to take it out of the pocket, I slide it in, and when it slides in fairly well, I do feel it catching a little bit, but when I go to take it back out, pressure on the clip pushes down on this sharp edge. It makes it hard to pull out of the pocket. Now, is it horrifying? No, it's fine. And I can always just grab the clip like this and pull it out. I make do. I like the knife still. It's not a deal breaker. None of these things have been a deal breaker at all. I love the knife already. I loved it from the start. I just feel like if you're going to do a version 2, the version 2 should be better. And I don't mean just better in we upgraded some materials. It should be we made it better, right? Love this hollow ground drop point blade, one of my favorite blade shapes. It'd been really cool if this was a harpoon drop point, but I'm not even going to go there. Just a good choil. That's something everybody complained about. The strap with the jimping, everybody kind of complained about. I don't remember the clip being an issue, but it is now a little bit. By the way, it is reversible, as you can see, because it just screws in back there. You can just flip it over to this side. All in all, I love the weight of it. I love the size of it. I love that when I put my thumb right there, it can't disengage because I'm literally preventing it from happening. And if I really wanted to, as long as I got those Allens or, you know, a set with me, I can make this where I could literally probably baton with it without no fear at all of it failing, because you can make this so strong that it can't fail. You can't fail. Like, it literally, it's like it locks into that groove so strong, nothing's gonna, nothing's gonna fail it. Anyways, I love the action. Action is great. It's crazy how good they were able to make this a detent. I know it's not actually a detent, but what acts as the resistance. It's crazy how good they got that, because it's a great detent, man. I mean, I love, like I said, the sound is amazing. So many great attributes to this. Now, how good is this S35VN? I do not know. This is the final thing I want to bitch about. And I don't want to bitch about it, but I'm gonna. Buck's sharpening lately has been rough. This has been the best one that I've seen, and I have already stropped this, so maybe I shouldn't have stropped it yet. I am gonna sharpen it up and see how this S35 does, but I don't know if they changed sharpeners or what they've done, but lately, the Bucks that I've gotten have had very rough edges, similar to like Case's edges, which I don't like. They have burrs left on them. They're very aggressive. It's like I don't know. It's either one, they're just using such an aggressive belt and they're just stopping at a super low grit and then barely stropping, or maybe not stropping. I don't know, but they're leaving it way, way, way too aggressive. I can tell that this seems like it was hand sharpened on a belt. I will say that. It looks like whoever did it did hand sharpen it. And the reason why I'm saying that, at least that's what it seems like. Because if you look at this belly right here, it looks slightly at an angle. But anyways, whoever's doing it is doing a very aggressive edge. And maybe that's what they want, but it is rough. Your edge should feel like super smooth when you run your nail up it. I feel a rough patch right here to here. One thing you can do if you ever get an edge that's really aggressive, maybe feels like the burr isn't completely removed. If you have a bonded stone, it's best, but a ceramic will work just fine, or a ruby. Find your edge angle really easily. Just look underneath. You see that shadow? Lift, 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 lift until that shadow goes away. As soon as that shadow goes away, that is the angle. As soon as the apex just ever so slightly touches that stone, and then don't use no pressure. These are very gentle passes. All you're doing is knocking off any remaining burr and refining maybe some of the large teeth to a little bit smaller. And you're just going to do a few gentle passes. Yes, you can do this on a ceramic rod, but you need to be even more gentle because it's a pinpoint area. So anytime you're doing anything on a pinpoint area, it's much more effective, which can backfire. And then this is, by the way, this is my hybrid bonded diamond stones. And then this is stroppy stuff. You can find both of these, NEEVEKNIFECO.com. This is the best stropping emulsion on the planet, 0.5 micron diamond emulsion, like I said, on NEEVEKNIFECO. And if you do that, that will absolutely, yeah. See, now it's much, much smoother, a little bit still right there. Right there. Did you see that? You can kind of hear it. Now let me try this one more time. Usually one pass on a bonded stone. I like to do a 3,000 or a 5,000. You can do a 1,500 if that's all you got. Yes, it's much, much, much better. Let's try it out. Yeah. What a great user, man. I like I said, I love the Marksman. I've always loved it. You know, and shout out to them for bringing it back. I think that is so badass. Man, Buck, man. I think I love Buck to death. I do think that there's a lot of little things they could be doing better, and I wish that they would listen a little bit. And I don't want to sound like, what would that be? Cocky. I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but I am more than happy for them to reach out, you know, and listen to the little nitpicks and complaints that a lot of people are saying right now. And again, I love Buck, man. They'll always have a place in my heart. I will always love them, and I will always root for them no matter what. No matter what, I'll always root for them, and I'm rooting for them now. But there's just there's some things, like my last review I did on a Buck did great. So let me just be clear. The last thing I got, which was the Range Elite, I think it was. I think that's what it was. In Magna Cut. I love that knife. I love that knife. They did a really good job with it. But there's just some things, just little details on some things that's like, man, like, it was so easy. Like, it's not like it would have costed you more money or anything like that. It's just like these little details that I think they might be missing. And the problem with that is that it pushes them back further and further from being competitive with knives today, right? You know, like there's just little things, you know, that we're not doing anymore that we expect, right? That we expect on a knife that's over $20. Especially, you know, when you see some of the knives that are only $20 and are hitting those little marks. I don't want to go into it all here. I love Buck again, man. Hopefully, I hope this does really well for them, and I know it will. This will do great for them because this is too badass. Like, this is a legend, and it's so awesome that Buck and G&G Hawk, I don't know if this is the only thing they've ever done. I'm guessing it is, but I don't know. But shout out to both of them, man. I love G&G Hawk. Gavin is such a great dude, man. I cannot express that enough. You want to talk about a good human being in the knife community? Gavin from G&G Hawk. Absolute gem of a human. Great guy. I honestly can't say anything bad about him. I only have great things to say. Just a lovely human being. And, you know, the company itself, man, one of my favorites, man. They do such incredible work. And Buck, again, man, so iconic, man. They're legendary. They go back, I don't even know how long they go back, but a long damn time. a long time. You know, we all grew up with, you know, buck knives in our grandpa's pockets or dad's pockets, or our first knives. I think my first knife was a knockoff buck 110. I don't think it was a legit one. It was gigantic though. Anyways, yeah, man, love it, love it, love it. Love to see Buck doing this. I love to see Hawk doing this. Hopefully we see more stuff like this, and, you know, maybe even like new stuff, you know. Yeah, there you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Till next time, peace.